Coming in hot from Arizona, this is Trevor
and Troy Howard.
And you're on So Tell Us Time. You can have everything you want in your business. Sometimes you just need a little help.
Every business owner would love to charge more for their services, but sometimes you can sacrifice long-term loyalty for a short-term profit.
Creating the right rituals is key to your business having success.
Are you tired of competing with your competitors? Guess what? You don't have to compete if you create.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of So Tell Us Time. What a great day. What a great Tuesday morning. I know you're feeling it. You're not faking it. You're really feeling it because you're spending your Tuesday morning with us, Troy and I. We just exude the energy that you can absorb for the day that you need today, okay? It's going to be a great day. I mean, come on. We got Memorial Day coming up, which is super exciting. We've got, well, it's summertime for the kids. I mean, it means literally nothing for us adults other than that, like, our kids are home and things are a little more complicated probably and chaotic. But hopefully you've got some vacations planned. You've got a little bit of getaways, you know, things like that you're going to be able to do. Time you're going to spend with your family. So that's super exciting. All right, guys. Well, let's jump into today's topic, which is loyalty. And loyalty goes both ways.
What?
Yes, it goes both ways. It's amazing. As much as you want your consumers, your clients, your customers to be loyal to you, they expect the same thing.
Yeah.
So weird. So weird that it goes both ways. And, you know, it's actually so sad that it doesn't really, a lot of times in today's day and age, go both ways, right? Like a big thing that a lot of companies are lacking is customer service anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Or building a good product. We've all experienced this. I mean, I have a Samsung plasma TV, flat screen plasma TV. That is 17, almost 18 years old. Okay. Wow. We got it when we first got married. And I'm talking back when plasma TVs were like $3,500. These flat screen TVs and weighed 4,000 pounds. It's like this thin and it's, you know, a 40-incher, which was big back in the day, 18 years ago, but it's literally like 4,000 pounds. Now, what's funny about that and why I bring that up is because, for instance, I've had that bad boy for 18 years and it's been running strong. In that same 18 years, Troy has bought the same brand, Samsung, and I have bought Samsung. Yeah. And you've gone through at least 5+ TVs in that time. Yeah, I would assume. On my other TVs in my home, because unfortunately we all live in homes that have every room has a TV. You know, not like in the olden days when it was one TV per household. But I've gone through several. So products just aren't built. But, you know, I digress on a tangent, but what I'm saying here is loyalty goes both ways. And unfortunately, in this day and age, we see a lot of times that the loyalty doesn't come from the company side, but yet we do expect it from or want it from our client side, right? Yeah. And then more than that, we're going to be talking specifically about money with the loyalty side, because there is something happening even worse than crappy products, right? in today's day and age, and everyone is experiencing this, is price gouging. We're experiencing this phenomena called price gouging. And think about how bad that is when you are talking about the exact same TV. And I'm not dishing on Samsung. I love Samsung. That's all I buy. Yeah. But I'm buying the exact same Samsung TV for like triple the price today that I did it just a year or 2 or 3 ago, right? Yeah. So let's jump in. Let's dive in. I don't know how much of Troy's, topic I've stolen already, but that's okay. That's why you love me. Let's get going.
All right. So like Trevor said, in today's economy, we're seeing price increases everywhere. Prices are just skyrocketing. And we'll just give you a couple of examples. Cars, holy smokes. Never before that I know of have we seen used cars actually increase in value. Yeah. And not decrease.
My truck is worth $10,000 more than I paid for it in 2018.
Crazy.
Ridiculous.
Right? And I know our sister, she went to buy a car, went to the dealership, showed up. They'd already agreed to the price, everything, gets there, gets down to the paperwork. She's looking at the numbers, and it's $5,000 more
Yep.
than what they said it was going to be. And she's like, what is this? Where's this $5,000? And they're like, oh, that is our $5,000 pandemic fee. And she's like, what pandemic fee? And they're like, well, we're in a pandemic, so, there's shortages of parts and blah, blah, blah. They kind of gave her a little thing. But basically, it was just, we're in a pandemic and we can just charge you more money.
Yeah, we can, so we will.
Yeah.
And that's the mentality. That's the ultimate overlying mentality we're going to be talking about today is I can, so I will.
Yeah, exactly. And so she's like, well, it was kind of funny because her husband's a doctor.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, my husband's a doctor, so he should just charge a pandemic fee on top of every single visit. Yeah, and they're like, no, that's not right. And you're like, that's exactly what you're doing, right? And what she ended up doing was she's like, well, I'm just going to leave this dealership. There's another dealership down the road that said they'd give me the car for the price that I agreed to with you, so I'll go there instead.
Yep.
Right?
And she said to him, now, guess what? People are going to remember this because it wasn't like this one dealership was doing it. I mean, you've all probably experienced it too, or know someone who does. Like a bunch of them, I would say the majority were doing this. Now, there were some, like the one she bought from, that didn't do it. And that's what I'm saying is what she said to them was, people are going to remember this.
Yep.
And you're not going to have loyalty. And as we're talking about this, I'm going to just throw one in there, Troy, that I know is not on the list. But we all know I have an RV, right? If you follow us, we have an RV. We're getting ready to leave on a big, fat, fun RV trip. You guys can follow us on that. And I'm going to be visiting some clients and hopefully getting some new clients. And so, but the thing is I have to park where my home is. I have to park my RV across the street. Even though my lot is large enough, I could put my RV there. Lovely HOAs. I know people from like the east, eastern part of the country. They have no idea what that is. But HOAs, they suck. They rule your life. And so I have this RV park that I have to park it at. And what they started doing is, because RVing is so popular right now, they are full. All the RV places are full, the storage places. So what's happening is every single month, they raise that price. They raise my monthly price a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. And I've emailed them a couple times and had some conversation with them. And basically they come back and it's basically, well, we can, so we do.
Yeah.
And I told them the same thing that she told the car dealerships is loyalty goes both ways. And this fad of RVing will go away. And people, like, guess what? Gas prices are through the roof right now. So already you've seen the prices of RVs going down. And that's what's going to happen with that is that you're going to have people selling their RVs, and all of a sudden these storage lots are going to have openings, and they're going to have not enough people, and they're going to have people mass exiting. And let me tell you something that I told them: when this happens, I have no loyalty to you because you had no loyalty to me. You told me, well, I can, so I am. Yeah. And that means the minute that the place down the street from you drops in price, even if you're a better price, I'm still going to bounce to them.
Right.
Just out of principle, because I'm like, you have no loyalty to me. You screw me over.
Exactly.
So that's one of the things we're talking about here.
Yeah, exactly. Other things we've noticed, housing market, like, across the nation, the housing market's going crazy, especially in Arizona. I was just talking to someone the other day. They put offers on 4 different houses.
Wow.
They offered $20,000 more than the asking price, and they got outbid on every single one of the houses.
Wow.
Insane, right? So the housing market's just going up and up and up like crazy. Food,
we all know.
Yeah, food has gone way up. I was thinking about the other day, I'm like, man, I don't think you can get a lunch, just buy lunch for less than $10 now.
Oh, it's so crazy.
It used to be like $5, $6. Now it's like 10, 12, $15 for lunch.
Yeah. And what's crazy, or even more than that. The other day, my daughter and your daughter was in a dance recital thing for school, right?
Yeah.
After the dance recital, her little group was going to Olive Garden. And she says, hey, can we have some money? Can I have some money to go to Olive Garden and everything? We said, sure, let's give you some money. I gave her $25 and I thought, bring me the change. In fact, I told her, bring me the change when you're done. But that way you can get a meal, you can get a drink, you might even get a dessert, and then still there'll be change left over. Well, when she comes home, she's like, there was no change. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I pulled up the menu to get a chicken carbonara at Olive Garden now. It was $20.
Yeah.
This meal that used to be about $9,
Yeah.
$10 is now $20 plus tip and a soda. She was done. $25. I mean, that's
Right.
insane. That's just crazy.
Now, again, what we want to make sure we clarify right from the beginning is that not everybody's price gouging. There are costs that are going up for businesses. I know I was talking to someone in the food industry and they're like, oh my gosh, our cost of food has gone up dramatically, right?
Absolutely.
So we've had to raise our prices.
They can't even get their hands on some things, And if they can, it's very expensive for them.
Exactly. So we want to just preface what we're talking about today is we're not talking about having to increase your prices because you're paying more money for what you need to run your business. We're talking about increasing your prices just because you see everybody else doing it.
Yes.
And you're just going to gouge people for that money.
People will remember.
And I'll give you a perfect example of that. Gas.
Oh my gosh.
Gas. So most, maybe you don't know this, maybe you do, but ExxonMobil released their, quarterly profits, their numbers for the first quarter of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, prices of gas have doubled
It's insane.
in the last year or so?
Arizona is $5.19 a gallon. We're
Yeah.
the third highest in the country. The only thing beating us is California and Hawaii.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Now, but here's the thing. So you think, oh, well, their cost must have gone way up, and that's why the price of gas is going up.
Yeah.
No, they released their quarterly numbers, and guess what? The first quarter of this year, they doubled their profits over the first quarter of 2021.
No, Troy, it's Russia's fault.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's very, let me just put it this way. In all of our years of experience, it's very difficult to double your profits in 1 year without price gouging.
Especially if your costs are going up, skyrocketing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
Yeah. So that's an example. This is an example of what we're talking about. Right. So let's get into it a little bit more. So it seems like everyone's raising their prices and you may be thinking to yourself, you know what? I should really do this too. I should raise my prices. Everyone else is raising their prices. But what we want you to do is we want you to take a moment and we want you to really look at your business and the numbers in your business before you make that decision.
Right.
Because you need to understand that just like Trevor talked about, if your customers feel that you're price gouging them, that you're raising those prices just because you can, you are going to lose customer loyalty.
That's right.
And then, which means you're going to lose customers. And you're not only going to lose that customer, but they're going to tell their friends and they're going to tell their family, and you're going to lose those potential customers
in
as
a
well.
time when everything is inflated, right? When everything is expensive, people are going to be looking at ways to save.
Yeah.
And how I do it is I look first at the services and things that I have, products, and I say, well, who's increasing their prices on me? I do.
Yep.
I literally do. I'm like, who's increasing their prices? Okay. Well, guess what? You increase your price and I really don't want your service anymore. So, and that's gone first. And it was funny because our programmer actually walked in the other day and he says, man, with inflation, we're going to have to raise our prices. We're just going to have to. And I said, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And Troy's going to get to, us and how we run our business here in just a little bit. And I don't want to give it all away, but it's like I said, I've never done that. I've never done that. And Troy will explain that more. But he goes, I said, and furthermore, until I see a dramatic increase in my cost, I would never turn that over to the client.
Yeah.
Or I would never do it just because my competitors are doing it, or just because, and we've never done that in the history of our company. Our competitors have contacted us and said, you are significantly lower. In fact, we want to resell your products, but we want you to raise your prices because you're just hurting all of us. And I'm going, I'm not hurting anybody. I might be hurting you, but I'm definitely not hurting my clients. Okay. Yeah. And it was funny because he's like, well, but the cost of gas is up and the cost of food is up and the cost of living, his justification behind it. And he's not a bad guy. He's a great guy. And he's just thinking out, for all of us and everything. But he basically, because everything in the world costs more, we just need to charge more. And I don't believe in that mentality. No, like just because my food and my gas costs more, well, my actual service at this point that I provide to my clients isn't costing me more at the moment. Right. So I'm not increasing the price just because the rest of my life got more expensive.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. In 22 years of business, we've never raised prices on our customers.
Never once.
Not once. Yeah, we've never done that. So, and the question is, well, is that because our cost has never gone up in 22 years? And the answer to that is no.
No.
Right now we pay our employees
Mm-hmm.
more than we've ever paid employees in the past.
Right.
So our payroll costs are way higher. Technology costs are actually higher than they've ever been. You would think that a lot of times, technology gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. No, not necessarily.
I'll just give you one example. Text message marketing, or not
Yes.
marketing, but text messaging, right?
Mhm.
Text messaging has more than tripled in the last little bit.
Yeah,
And
last
it's-
12 months.
And it's going up again.
Mhm.
But yet, my clients, and if you're listening, my clients have not seen an increase. And they won't see an increase because of that. Like, we do things a little bit differently, and Troy's going to talk about how we offset that. But that's the thing. Our costs have gone up.
Yeah.
And guess what? Sometimes our prices, even when costs have gone up, our prices have had to come down.
Yep.
To, just to compete or just to whatever. And we do it. And so we're going to get into all of that. I'll let you go.
Yeah, and I think that's a great example. Like I said, the text messaging, that is, our costs have skyrocketed.
Oh,
And a lot of it is just the carriers, Verizon and T-Mobile,
Yeah.
saying, and AT&T going, hey, we want to make more money, so
Yeah.
we're going to increase the cost by 25% to send a text message through our network.
yeah. Like their cost didn't
Yeah.
raise at all.
Nope, doesn't cost them anything else, but they raised it, to make more money. And we've just eaten that cost for our customers.
Mhm.
And then the other thing too is we're competing with companies that have received hundreds of millions of dollars in funding
Yes.
that we haven't received. So, and yet, even with that kind of competition, we still have not raised the cost on our employees.
Oh, well,
Or sorry, not our employees, on our clients.
Yeah, and the funny thing is if people will come to our employees all the time, our sales guys, us, and they say, "How can you be a third of the price of these other people?" And one of the simplest ways to explain that is we've just said, look, they've all gone and gotten investment, and that additional $200-300 that you're spending with them every month is just to pay back the investors.
Yeah.
And that's just a simplistic way of explaining it. There's a lot more that goes into it than that, but that is the difference. And we're not saying, hey, compete on price here. That's not what
Nope,
we're trying to say.
that's not what
Don't
we're
be the
saying.
cheapest. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying go out there and be the cheapest. Like, don't be the cheapest. But be valued where you put a value on your company, and then stick with that and be confident in it. And then again, the main point is just, why are we raising prices for no reason
Exactly.
and ruining loyalty?
Yeah. So let's talk about how we've been able to not only survive the last 22 years, but grow our businesses.
We've thrived.
Yeah, we've thrived. And one of the ways we've done that is we use automation to help our employees get more work done in less time, right? The cost of the employee has gone up. So what do? We make the employee more efficient
Correct.
through automation. And then that offsets that cost, right? That we're paying them. So that's one thing that we've really focused on in our business is automation. The other thing is we've created additional products that we can sell to our customer base,
Yeah.
right? So instead of saying, hey, that product you already have, we're going to raise it 25%, we say, hey, we've got this additional service that you can add on
Yep.
to what you're already doing.
It makes your life better, makes our service better, or whatever it is,
Yeah, exactly. And we make more money without increasing the cost of the original product to the customer. So what that's done for us is it's helped us increase the average ticket, the average dollar amount per ticket per customer.
And think about it. So we've literally never done a price increase on an existing customer in 22 years, and yet we make more money today. And think about it. The cost of everything in the last 22 years, everything,
Yeah.
milk, everything has gone up. So how is it that we can never have done a price increase, and yet the cost of everything in life has gone up, including our costs, right? And yet we are making more money today than we've ever made.
Yep.
Exactly what Troy just went over. We are creative.
Yeah.
Right? We want to bring more value to a customer, not just a new price to a customer.
Exactly. And the other thing too is, the final thing is, we've created loyal customers because we've been loyal to them, right? A big part of that is we're loyal to our customers. We haven't increased the price on them, so they stick with us. The other part of that is we give great customer service. So that value, they're like, I'm not going to go anywhere else. I don't care what the prices are anywhere else. Even if someone has a lower price than us,
right?
Our customers stick with us.
And there are companies out there that
loyal.
have lower prices.
Yeah.
We're like right in the middle. I think that's the best place to be.
Yep. And so we've, but it's creating that loyalty. And that's why we have customers that have been with us for 22 years. So now the question is, does that mean that you should not raise your prices?
You should never raise your price, you naughty person.
That is not what we're saying to you. No. If your costs increase significantly and the only thing you can do is raise your price, then that is what you have to do.
Yeah.
Right.
But let me ask you this, or maybe have you think about this. When your cost increases and you have to do a price increase, wouldn't it be okay, because you already have profit built into your existing cost? Wouldn't it be okay to just roll that additional cost over to the person and not additional profit? Because I feel like people are like, well, my cost increased, but I normally make a 30% profit. Now I want to, I'm going to increase that, and I need to make a little more profit with it too. No, that's, in my opinion, not a good way to do business.
Yep, exactly. So, what you need to do is you need to take a look at your business, right? And you need to see, do I need to raise those prices? Do I not? However, if you have done everything you can to be loyal to your customers in the past, they're going to be loyal to you. And the great thing about it is, if you do have to raise those prices, and I've seen this, I've seen some companies that we work with, and they've sent out an email and they said, hey, look, we've done everything that we can to not raise prices. And we've not raised prices in the last 10 years. However, due to recent changes and recent cost increases for us, we are going to have to do our first, increase in the last 10 years.
Yep.
And they even talked about in the email, one of the ones I got, they even said, like, look, here's where our costs have increased. And we're just passing that cost on to you. We're not making a profit on top of that, right? We're just increasing that little bit of cost. What it's costing us, we're increasing to you.
Yeah.
And their customers are loyal. We're loyal. I was like, you know what? I totally understand that as a business owner. I'm going to keep doing business with you.
Oh yeah, my pool guy did that. The company that comes and cleans my pool, they sent out an email and they said, hey, listen, things are hard to get right now. Chlorine's hard to get. And when you can get it, it costs more, and this and that, and da-da-da. And he said, how I'm going to do this, I'm not going to roll. He even said, I luckily had the good sense to buy a lot of chlorine before there was a shortage, and before that shortage created a huge cost increase. Now he's like, I could increase the cost of the chlorine to you.
Right.
Even though I had bought it at a lower price, because no one would know that. He's like, but what I'm not going to do that. He goes, what I am going to do is, in past, I have always just charged you for 4 weeks of service, even when there was a 5th week in that service.
Yeah.
He said, to offset the costs of everything going on right now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to now start charging for that 5th week of service when it pops up. And I thought, that's awesome. Yeah. That's great. So every so often, my bill is just a little bit higher when we have that 5th week.
Right.
And that helps to offset costs. And in all honesty, he could have been doing that from the beginning.
Right.
And that's the type of people I want to do business with, because that's the type of person I am in business.
Yep.
And that's how you all should be in business as well. I mean, making money is great, but that's not what this whole life is all about, right?
Yeah.
Gouging people, I can tell you, some of the saddest people who were the most unhappy were the people who had the most money.
Yeah.
So just think about that, right?
Yep. All right. On to the homework.
I think you already went over the homework, was to look at your business.
Yeah.
And see, do you need to increase costs? And if you do, then how do you do that ethically, in my opinion? Or can you continue to run as you have been without increasing your cost, or come up with something new and innovative
Yep.
on how to charge more money, but not make your clients pay more money. Kind of what we do, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the things. Look at your systems, look at your automation, we gave you examples of ways that we keep our costs down to keep our profits up. So you may not need to raise your prices because you go, hey, if I just do this, that's going to save me X amount of dollars, which means I'm not going to have to raise prices on my clients by creating this automation or by doing this over here. So look at it from those different lenses of, is there something I can do to increase profits without, increasing the price? And if there's not a way to do that, then look at, okay, what do I need to do as far as an increase in price to be fair to my clients?
Yeah.
So that they'll be fair with me.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for spending your Tuesday morning with us. We love you. We appreciate you. We will catch you guys on the next episode of So Tell Us Time.